All right, so I'm gonna just go ahead and jump right in. So I'm coming out of retirement for like the 20th time. So, anyways, first stock, Google. So on Google, I drew this trend line. I gotta fix it, but I had a trend line down here from way back over yonder. But as you can see, price came down, wicked under it, and it's holding this trend line. So I'm gonna get rid of these levels, but I just wanted to show y'all that I had this trend line, for a fat minute. So, anyways, I'm gonna just give it all these real quick and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So, anyways, as long as we hold this trend line, I would say this candle right here, honestly, over 167.03. I'm on the daily time frame, by the way. I'm looking at Google to come up and fill this gap up to 172. So this low of 172.25, I'm pretty much looking at Google to come up to here. And from here, we're either gonna drop and fill this wick down here and break this trend line at 158, or price is gonna hold 172.25 and retest this higher trend line, which honestly, 176, between 176 and 175.75. So pretty much this zone right here. Because I could just turn this wick high to a zone. But that is Google. It really has a good risk to reward because anytime we held this trend line, what happened? Impulse to move, right? Impulse to move, came back down, tapped, impulse to move, right? But this time we are in a downtrend. So just a heads up, I don't expect this move to be a giant impulsive move like these moved in the past. But I at least expect Google to hit 172.25. I'm not asking Google to go back up to 200, but I'm looking at least 172.25. That's all I'm looking for. So let's see, we break this high. That's a $5 move. $5. Yeah, I'll just say 520. Anyway, and we hold that test 176. That's a $9 move. So y'all see what I'm talking about. So, anyways, moving on off of Google. Well, yeah, that's the daily. Here's the 30-minute time frame because I like the 30-minute time frame. As you can see, 30-minute, that's a little gap right here. But I think this one got tapped. Yeah. So 168. I'm gonna just do that high. Well, this kind of low. So pretty much resistance is 168.54. Just an FYI. But I know for a fact because this can also be a inverted head and shoulders down here, the left, right here, the head, the right. But anyways, I can at least see this upper gap right here being filled. And honestly, truth be told, this is a giant gap because on the daily time frame, it just showed this tiny part. But on the lower time frames, you can see how this gap goes to 174. So pretty much looking at over 167.03, I'm looking at 168.54, 172.25. 174.61, 175.75, 176.90. And yeah, that's pretty much it on Google. So now I'm gonna move on. Nike. Nike, all right, let's be real. When I haven't seen hype in Nike in ages. Like I don't know, they're not falling off. They're just, I don't know. They're just, I guess they're just old, if that makes sense. Cause so Nike, he's been around for over yonder, right? Since 1981, since the 80s. It's been around for a minute. Like they really haven't. It's hard. Like once you have so many shoes, like I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like they haven't came up with anything hype in a fat minute. Like despite all these, famous celebs, anything. If I'm just using common sense, they really haven't came up with anything hype. So pretty much what I'm trying to say is Nike should test $60. Despite them having a good ER, I'm looking at this wick. I'm pretty much looking at this low down here to be taken out. Because if you bought down here and if you see price right here, you're scared. And I know there's a lot of money right here because for this wick to come down here and to close up here and for this candle to go up like that, I know that there's big money down here. So I know for a fact that they are gonna probably bounce this up, and attract more buyers. And then once they have this slight bounce, they're gonna tank it past 60. That's just a feeling I have. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But this is just based off the monthly time frame. We still have 9 days left. Then on a 3 month time frame, because with a quarter, we have 9 months, 9 days left. So pretty much this 3 month time for this candle on a 3 month matters. So we close. So I'm pretty sure this 3 month candle, we should close under. And then two, we have resistance right here at 70.75. So as long as we stay under 70.75, I'm looking at 60 on Nike. That's just based off of the 3 month and the monthly. And then two, look, you can call this a bear flag or whatever, and then look at this next candle. Open, right? We waked up and it's pushing lower, right? And then we have resistance right here. You see this bounce right here, but I think this candle's gonna fill this wick and it's gonna keep pushing down. So pretty much what I'm trying to say is this candle, it should be like this. I should probably make that blue. I forgot which blue I use. It don't matter. But just know I expect this candle to be like this. To at least hit this wick. So that's just based off the 3 month and monthly. And then yeah. So we have a gap right here. So if price can fill this gap right here and trade sideways and start to reject, then yeah, I'm seeing 60. Because we are still in a downtrend, right? It's been in a downtrend ever since. And then the fact that we broke this, and this was the range right here. You see this low I marked out. Then I'm gonna just say this is overall high. And then right here, look, we broke out the range, came back in the range, right? Try to break above, and then what happened? We're out of the box. So pretty much we should retrace up to at least 70.75 area, at least up to here. But if we don't break, like if there's not enough bulls in this area, I'm looking at 60. I'm just seeing 60. Then look, we have all these gaps right here. That's one thing about one thing about this stock that I don't like. It's just gaps, gaps, gaps. Like, can you do anything else besides the gap? So yeah, so honestly, I'm gonna get I'll keep those. So resistance is 70.75, 72.7, 72.66, 76.20, 79.05, the highest. So pretty much I'm looking for a retrace to at least this gap, or at least I say the height. That's the wrong one. So the highest I want Nike to go is to 72.66 and reject. If price can reject that, then you're looking at risking. Well, it depends on you. I usually risk $2 or $1 because it's Nike. It moves slow. Well, it does have days where it moves fast, but anyways, most of the time it moves slow. So if we can retrace up to here on Monday, Tuesday, and starts to reject, at 72.66 or at 70.75 and start to like fall over, then I'm looking at price to take out this wick low of 65.17. Then under that, I'm looking at $60. I'm just looking at $60. So that's Nike daily, the 30-minute. You can see even better higher lows, right? So I'm looking if we can come in this gap and start to consolidate and then trend to the downside. That's a good entry, prime entry. And yeah, I know people were like, "Oh, they beat ER." Okay, you know how many stocks beat ER and still tank? That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm gonna play the trend until it shows me otherwise. And don't let this Friday bounce fool you either. And last but not least is NVDA. I want NVIDIA to come down to $100. And I know I'm not even asking for a lot, but just based off this monthly, let me get rid of this. So not even monthly. It's the weekly. So let me look at a 3 month because I don't think I looked at three. Yeah. So so even on 3 month, we have 9 days left. I can at least see 100. But knowing them, they're probably gonna fight this and try and make a doji. I don't know. I don't think they're turn this into a doji. They could. But anyways, just based off of the weekly, I drew a fib on this last candle. So the 50% of this of this weekly candle is at 118.72. So pretty much I'm looking the highest I can see us going is to 120.80. If we break over 120.80, then its trade is invalid. But if we stay in this fib range, right, and start to consolidate and start to shift to the downside, I'm looking at least 112.24 because I'm pretty sure there's a gap right here on the lower time frames. But overall, I'm looking at $100. And just a heads up, they have ER in May right here on this day. So pretty much, if we can get to $100, to that mental level, that's an instant buy. Cause like it's $100. And the reason I'm saying $100, because look, we're at 117, right? So so pretty much that is a $17 drop, right? So I'm pretty sure, NVIDIA can drop $17. I'm not saying it's gonna do it in a day, but like, it can drop $5 one day, next day drop $2 next day, right? Until that equals, you know, 17. So pretty much this is a good short. And I know people are like, "Oh, you're bearish." Or have I seen the market? March is usually a bearish month. I'm not. I'm not saying like we're gonna crash. I'm just saying like I'd rather. I'm trying to get in cheap, but at the same time, I'm not. If there's a short setup, I'm gonna take the short. I'm a trader. I don't. I'm not a bull. I'm not a bear. I'm a trader, right? So that's how you need to think. You need to think like a trader. Don't be like those people on Twitter, like, "Oh, it's the end." Like, no, bro. Like, come on now. I'll do this every year. Same cycle. When the market goes up, people are happy. But the moment the market, yeah, people are happy, they're cocky, like, oh, we're on top. Then once the market starts to shift and go down, and you see those red numbers on your screen, that's when you start to blame the market. You blame everyone, the president, the politician. Start to blame everyone. Like, no, the chart shows you everything beforehand. This chart will always show you. You just have to look for it. That's why you can't get cocky in this game. Because the people who get cocky, if the market doesn't humble you, then God will. But anyways, yeah. So there is a gap down here. It's right here. So I'm pretty much seeing. If you want to wait for final confirmation, then just wait for the break of 116.63, and I'm looking at 112.24. But pretty much under this high right here, I'm looking at $100. Pretty much, I'm looking at this low to get it's taken out at 104.77, but my overall target is that mental level of $100. So if Nvidia can hit $100, just buy some stock because it's Nvidia. It's chips. Everyone loves chips. And now people are like, oh, it's like this. Like, bro, it's Nvidia. They're not gonna let it go under like that. They just want a better entry. Like, would you rather buy at 117 or buy at 100? You have to think like a bank. The name of the game is buy low, sell high. That's the name of the game. Buy low, sell high. So that's the daily 4 hour. And then two, like this right here is ugly price action. Like it's just choppy. 1 hour. I think it was on the 30 minute I saw this. Yeah, it was a 30 minute. So this fib is based off the weekly. So this is a weekly fib. This up here. But yeah, it has gaps right here. That's why I drew this box. So pretty much from down here to up here, and then this candle high right here, it's like it's not the midpoint, but it's just like I know it's a level of support. So that's what I'm saying. I think we can I I'm pretty sure we're still gonna go down and fill this gap. It just makes sense to me. And then we have then right here I can draw a trend line. One, two, I can just draw it right here. So for confirmation, we break this trend line. Yeah. I draw another one. I probably could. Yeah. So this zone, this box, not box, but I guess this right here. All right, but that's it for me. Hope y'all enjoyed this video. I'm gonna start doing it every week now. See y'all in the next video.